Hey everyone, this is James. It is March 7th, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is my 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. This is BTC USDT on the Binance exchange, so that's exactly where these numbers are coming from. Obviously, there's a disparity from exchange to exchange, so that's why I just want to give a notation of exactly what I am charting here. Also, first off, this is not investment advice. I just have to give that disclaimer. So what we can see, if you remember from my last video, as I was talking about the uptrend that Bitcoin was in, that we've been in since the 6,000 bottom, as you can see here, okay? You can see that price is basically oscillated around at this frequency, this blue line, uptrend, all right? Yesterday, I talked about how it broke down. We talked about the bar. Let me just zoom in real quick. And we have kind of a recap. We hit it, bounced, broke through, came back, and then I said we were probably gonna like chug along the underside. We may even pop through it, but I said even if we did that, I was expecting a rollover no matter what. Well, we got the rollover, and now this blue line set, this uptrend line set, all this is gone. You know, I talked about that in the video. I said that everything prior in that video, once that area was broken, needs to be deleted and just forget about it. It's no longer valid for future price movement. So basically, this is what I am looking at right now. There's not much to go on because it's so early. Like I said, price has to build structure before I can have a nice, clear understanding of the direction that it's headed. I do know that the direction that it's not headed is up right now. Okay, there's nothing bullish about this at all, unless there was some miracle and we were able to break out of this high now, which is roughly about 11,710. Okay, which I do not see that happening at all. If that happens, there will be a bullish case on the table. However, what I do think is possibly going to happen is we're either going to run into resistance along the 11,100 area, or we could potentially make it to the 11,600 and just have more of a sideways consolidation. Price is kind of reacting to two different line sets. We have a horizontal line and we have a negative slope right here. So depending on what happens with price is ultimately going to determine on where it's going to build that structure, and then the forward movement of that price as we go into time and space, which is to the right hand side. Right now you can see how this bar is even reacting to this line, where we may creep up this area. We may even kind of oscillate around it, move up before the downward fall. However, based on my lines, if we do travel this yellow line, we are easily going to see the 8,000 range, right? We will blow out this 9,300 bottom like there's nothing. Okay, it's unfortunate, you know, we're bullish on it, on Bitcoin. I really thought we were going to blow out this top. I knew there was going to be a lot of resistance, but after I saw this decline and what happened, I knew it was over. All right, I knew I had to switch sides, and that's why I talk about it in all my videos. If you're a new viewer, you have to account for both sides of the trade. I try to leave these videos as unbiased as possible. You know, I try to stay as objective as possible for everybody. It's not about inflating your ego or, you know, wanting to be right. Like, that doesn't matter. What the market does is what the market does, and you have to be able to react to it. And if your strategy, your investment strategy, does not have that taken into accountability, you're gonna wreck yourself very quick. So you got to be ready for both sides. That's why I started off and I said if we break the 710 area, we'll head higher. If not, we are going to continue moving downward, and it is going to be very brutal for the market. We could land ourselves somewhere in the mid 8,000 range. However, there's no guarantee that's even where we stop. That's just a little small projection that I have now. If we travel horizontally, okay, we may hit around the 10.5, 10.6 level and then just roll over. And then from there, the bottom would only be slightly lower than the 9,300 level, maybe 9,200, and we may just kind of fizzle sideways and flatline, kind of like you see something in the Ethereum market. That could, not necessarily be such a problem for the market if the market was to stabilize like that. However, based on the significant drop that we had, I think that we might have a significant, like a retracement of that drop in some shape or form. And as we do that, I do think that we are going to continue a more vertical movement downward. So you could see, this slope is what I'm referring to right here, that I'm tracing with the red marker. So like I said, we'll see what happens today. This is the 4-hour chart, so obviously I need a lot of time to understand exactly where price is headed. It's probably going to at least take today into tonight. So that's why my next video is going to be around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll give me enough time to kind of figure exactly what price is reacting to and have a better idea of the overall direction. It's not a guarantee by tonight. Tonight we could just kind of do something like this, and then there's not really much to go off of. But we'll see what happens. We've had a steep vertical drop. Typically, these vertical drops get reversed, okay? Doesn't mean it's going to get reversed 100%, but it could get reversed about here, or it could possibly turn here. If we do the latter and we get to this area, this 11.5 area, that will be a positive sign that the market is not going to fall out, okay? So yes, the market will be headed at a negative slope downward, but the market is not going to tumble downward as it would in this line set. So the best solution, or the best situation for this new bearish frequency is if we go at a almost sideways, like maybe a negative 10-degree angle, maybe negative 20, just depending on exactly what unfolds here. But if not, you can see how steep the decline could be, and it could be extremely brutal for people, especially people trying to catch this as a bottom, and people that are going to get suckered in as price decides to roll up or come backwards and retrace a little bit and then roll over from there. So we'll see what happens, but that's it for today. Unfortunately, there's not much that I can give you based on the 4-hour chart. I stay on the 4-hour chart because if I do anything less, I'd have to pump out so many videos a day. It get a little crazy, especially with Bitcoin when you start to have these wild volatile swings. So the 4-hour chart is a nice way to smooth everything out and look at it that way. There's just nothing exciting here right now at the moment. I'm just waiting for it to unfold. So like I said, the next video is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can go ahead and show you a Litecoin video, and then maybe not Litecoin video, a Litecoin chart, and then we could look at Ethereum as well too. Let me pull up the Litecoin chart to see where that's at. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. Okay. So here's Litecoin. This is LTC USD. This is on the 4-hour chart. All right, we're kind of rolling over here. Like I said, I did not think anything special was going to happen. We may have a retracement, okay, and then that would lead to that rollover. No matter what, there's nothing positive about Litecoin at this moment. I do think that price is going to head much lower. I do think that if we do get that retracement, it's going to roll over like so. And it will be pretty brutal for the market because we could be talking about 30 to 40 points depending on how high this little minor retracement would be before we roll over. So there's nothing. This blue line set I do not think is going to hold up very well. All right, we'll have to see as time unfolds. Price still has a large range that it can operate in before it goes down, but this is kind of alluding to what's going on in Bitcoin too. Ethereum and Litecoin almost sniffed out the last top, and I think they're kind of showing the signs of just the overall like sentiment in the market, the investor participation. Let me see real quick of the Ethereum. I think it was with the Bitfinex. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see what happened in Ethereum. If you remember my video from yesterday, well, we broke down right here, so it's not a good sign. And there's going to be a continuation to the downside, and this market is not going to look good. and I think we may see a somewhat feeble retracement like that if Bitcoin and Litecoin do it. If they don't, it's going to be brutal for Ethereum, and we could see Ethereum into the mid 500 range. So it's not going to be a very it's just going to be brutal for this sloth, and unfortunately, I don't want to see it get beat up, but it's been so sluggish in nature. I think the only exciting price action we're going to see is a downward movement for Ethereum, and that's just really sad. So, but that's everything. We'll see what happens. We'll see how Bitcoin unfolds. We'll see, what happens later this evening, and then I will have a video there. You can see that we're getting rejected on the 4-hour bar. I noticed that as I was leaving the chart. So it's just it looks like this down frequency, this yellow line, is going to be the new line set, and it's going to be brutal if it is. It's going to be absolutely brutal for this market, and price is going to fall at a rate that not a lot of people are expecting, and it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. And I'm telling you that there's a lot of people that still have positions from up here, up here, up here, and they're looking at every single dip as buy, 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 and they're putting all their money into it. But when you look at this market, real quick, hang on real quick. Let me just draw a line right here. Okay, and you see how the volatility has left the market, right? The investor participation. There's a lot of buyers and sellers. There's a lot of trading going on in this range right here. All right, there's a lot of excitement, and now it is dead. This is the club at midnight or late night when everybody's out, everybody's having fun, and this is the club at 2 in the afternoon, right? And there's nothing going on. And it's just the music has stopped, the lights are on, and everyone just everyone feels like garbage, and that's kind of like what I view this symmetry as. I view this symmetry as here's the party, and here's the early morning after the party or the afternoon after the party, and it just it does not look good at all. And if we follow this yellow line set, this could be very, very bad for this market. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, I don't want to drag it out any longer. If you do like the content, you do like the video, please like, share, subscribe, comment, give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve on my future videos. And from there, I will talk to everybody later. I hope you have a great day or great evening, depending on where you are in the world. And thank you for your time.